in terms of introductions, I might just hand it over first to Jono Walker, just to introduce himself.
Morning, everyone. Lovely to have you all join us today. I'm Jono Walker, Chief Technology Officer of Walkerscott. I lead our product teams that build products for the NFP sector in ANZ, including fundraising, grants, membership management, and donor and other external stakeholder portals. And I'm looking forward to sharing some of my thoughts with Katie today.
Thanks, Jono. And Katie, over to you.
Hey everyone, Katie here. I'm the partnerships manager here at Dataro. So I meet and work with charities on a daily basis to chat all things AI and fundraising. If you can't tell though, I am originally from the States. So I grew up in Michigan and moved to Australia actually to play water polo. Been here about 7 years in my free time. I'm also a volunteer surf lifesaver, but ultimately I'm really passionate around helping nonprofits leverage technology and have a bigger impact in the world. Really excited to have a chat today.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. So again, we've got some time at the end for any questions that the kind of chat comes up with, and feel free to pop them either in the chat or the Q&A section, and I'm happy to kind of come back to the team with anything that we can cover off. And if we have time at the end, we'll definitely make sure to cover off any questions as part of the chat. But the first question, I think probably for you, Jono, we'll start there. What does fit for purpose technology really mean, I suppose, in fundraising, and why is it critical for kind of more sustainable and smarter growth for kind of donation organizations?
Yeah, sure. So what it means for us is really putting the fundraiser and the donor at the center of what we do. And I know everyone in the sector is doing that every day, but it's using technology as to enable that even more so. So fit for purpose means that the technology is designed with and for fundraisers to enhance and allow you to achieve your mission more easily. It means faster time to value when you're implementing this type of technology using pre-configured workflows that are tailored for your industry. It also means that the chosen technology should grow with you. You know, as your organization expands, you shouldn't need to go back out to market to find something else because it hasn't grown with you. And ultimately, from our perspective, it means choosing a platform that works with the tools that you're already used to using, being able to integrate other offerings like Dataro into, Klevr Fundraising, and it really being an enabler for the future. So being able to take advantage of AI and all that brings. So examples include being able to draft content like emails and campaigns, easily summarizing interactions, more easily identifying donors that are likely to donate and personalizing material to them.
Katie, how about you?
Yeah, definitely agree with everything that Jono mentioned. I think ultimately it is just having technology that is doing what you want it to do and not having to be highly customized, long implementation times. Every time you want to make a change, it's very difficult, but actually giving you the insights and the outcomes that you want it to. I think we're seeing this trend across the industry, right? A lot of nonprofits moving from legacy CRMs or maybe even just information in Excel, right, to technology that's actually helping them do their job better. And not only that, but technology that helps break down silos, right? So we don't need this swivel chairing anymore where we have information and data that's sitting everywhere. You need technology that is fully integrated and taking away those silos and that manual rather than adding more manual work. And I want to double down on the scaling aspect as well. Technology that as you grow doesn't need to be reconfigured, or you don't need to move to a new system. I believe with both Klevr and Dataro, they're very fast implementation and able to, I guess, utilize those insights right away.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that we see with our customers as well. I think there's been a culture of going best of breed, and that's been great. But the problem is people have 10, 15 solutions for kind of one department inside their organization. It kind of just slows everything down, and people are having to do manual exports, and kind of there's a lot of manual hand holding between the different systems. Following on from that, Katie, how do you think that non-for-profits can kind of use AI in a bit more of a practical, ethical way while also kind of remaining donor-centric?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we need to one, just like becoming more educated on AI and what it is. I think some people hear AI and it's a bit scary. It's this black box. But what we're finding with our customers is actually kind of like teaching them about machine learning, about agents, and when you can understand about what AI is doing, and that it's like your friend and your tool, and not this scary thing that we have no idea about it. I think it's a lot easier to leverage it and help within an organization of that change management of how, it's not replacing you, it's letting you do your job more effectively, right? So I think at Dataro, we're really big on like audience first fundraising. So again, putting the donor at the center of everything you do. This at an individual level is quite easy, right? If I see that a donor typically engages with my online newsletters related to this topic, we can say, okay, they prefer email channel preferences, they are interested in dogs, right? But how do we do this at scale? And that's really where AI can be our friend, is allowing us to analyze all these signals that donors are giving us on a daily basis through their giving and engagement, interpreting these signals and then turning it into like meaningful, actionable strategies and insights. So AI really makes this possible by allowing us to do this at scale and enable this personalized outreach. So, putting every donor on an individual preferences. But I would also think that, it's really just important to kind of understand how these models are trained as well, which is why in Dataro, we also have full transparency into what information is going into the models, what predictive features are used, and also how the models perform.
Cool. Thanks, Katie. Jono, how about you? How do nonprofits use AI in a practical way?
Yeah, great. I think it's a really great and pertinent question. Like, there's a lot of hype and a lot of buzz in the industry, across all industries actually, and probably people talking about AI in personal or social settings as well. So I think the key at the moment is to treat AI as another tool in the toolbox that helps you achieve your outcome or your mission. And what we're seeing is that tool helps you reduce admin, but doesn't diminish the importance of your relationships with your donors. What we're also seeing is that organizations are wanting to be able to trust the tool. So not going out, and Harry mentioned best of breed, not going out and letting people choose whatever they want from an AI perspective, because then you're spreading your data across all of these different tools. So it's really important that you trust the tooling and that you've got strong data, privacy, compliance, and confidence. So with Klevr and Dataro being built on Microsoft's cloud within your environment, we ensure that data is handled responsibly. So that's kind of the foundational piece, making sure that you've got the underpinnings of a good foundation to use the tools. But then from there, it's saying, how do we use the tool? How do we embed the tool in our way of working? So rather than just bolting it on, how is it embedded into the core platform? So Klevr stands on top of Microsoft Dynamics and has Copilot embedded into the platform. So that really allows or provides the capability to provide better segmentation or journey mapping or campaign optimization through the native tooling on top of the Microsoft platform. And ultimately, what we're finding is that people are being able to do more without increasing manual workload. So example of that is actually prepping for this fireside chat and session. I know I used Copilot to help me prep and provide some talking points and keywords and do some research, and I was able to do more with less time. So it's really about decreasing the manual workload and providing better outcomes for yourselves and for your donors.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we were speaking while we were putting together this kind of demonstration over the past week or so with Katie, and she mentioned people aren't going to be replaced with AI. It's the people who don't harness AI to make themselves more effective and be able to use the tools to get more done. So it's really about how do we harness it. I think that kind of leads perfectly into the next question, which is fundraising is about people. I don't think donors are going to respond just to a robot calling them up and asking for money. How do you kind of strike the balance between human intuition and that kind of AI driven insights part that we're looking to generate to kind of build those stronger donor relationships? Katie, did you want to jump into that one?
Yeah, I definitely can. Yeah, I think look, at the end of the day, fundraising starts and ends with people. I think we're probably going to say this a million times in this chat, but AI is there to support, not replace, these human relationships. AI gives us the insights that's backed by the data that's sitting in your Microsoft or your CRM to have that better visibility around who's likely to give, who's likely to churn, who's likely to upgrade. It really just means that you're going to spend less time guessing and more time connecting. So AI is doing all of that data heavy lifting, all of this manual work, all of really the painful work in our segmentation that a lot of fundraisers spend a lot of time doing. And it's having the data to back up your strategy. But at the end of the day, you are still the one driving your strategy. AI surfaces these insights and opportunities, but fundraisers still apply their judgment, their empathy, their human interaction. So I would say that AI is definitely not a silver bullet. It's not doing everything for you. It's just uncovering insights that are sometimes difficult to see when you have a large CRM or database with a lot of information sitting in there. So it's kind of bringing these to your attention so that you can use these to increase your, lifetime value of donors, retention, ensure you're engaging with them the way that they want to be engaged with at the right time with the right ask, right? We also, allows us to not create this donor fatigue by going out to every single donor for every single appeal, right? So again, it's all about reaching out at the right time and also potentially uncovering some donors that didn't come up in your typical segmentation that are highly likely to leave a major gift or upgrade their regular gift. But at the end of the day, AI is just taking the guesswork out of your fundraising, but it's not doing, can never replace that human interaction and that connection that you build with your donors.
How about you, Jono? Through Klevr, how do you strike the right balance between the human aspect and the technology?
Yeah, I think completely agree with what Katie shared, and very similar sentiment. I'll kind of start off by saying that I assume most or everyone on the call has heard Microsoft Copilot. They're very good at marketing it, but they called it Copilot for a reason. They didn't call it autopilot. So, you're the pilot sitting in the plane, and you've got a co-pilot, which is some AI sitting next to you, but the plane doesn't fly itself without your involvement. So the intention is not to replace people as part of the process, because that's going to lead to a suboptimal outcome. But, Katie talked about, less time guessing, more time connecting. AI helps you do that by, analyzing the data, recognizing patterns, making sense of the noise, particularly when you've got a large database. What you bring then is empathy and context and decision making, and using those two things together, they're really powerful. And it kind of leans back onto the doing more with less and doing less manual work. So the AI is essentially augmenting your judgment and giving you more tools in the toolbox to help you make better decisions and make better judgments. So, for example, helping you identify potential high value donors or lapsed supporters, or ensuring that if you've received a major gift from a very important donor, you don't start hitting them with the recurring giving for $10 or $20 a month, because that's not going to be a good experience in their mouth when they've given you their time and money. So it's really about having, not just more data, but better conversations. But I think also that not every touch point should be automated. Like, it shouldn't just be, the machine or the system talking to your donors and your supporters. I think the key is knowing when to use the technology, but also when to pick up the phone, because sometimes that can be a lot more effective than just sending another email. So it's about not about replacing, your intuition, but about enhancing it with better tools, better data, better decision making that allows you to, again, do more with less.
I might just add too, I think what we're seeing as well a lot with our customers is it allowing fundraisers to be more proactive rather than reactive. So you just reminded me, Jono, right? Rather than, after you receive all these gifts, then building out that strategy, but being able to predict, what actions donors are likely to take, so you can ensure you have that next best action, and then on that best path to, stay with your organization for the long term. So more that idea of always on proactive fundraising rather than what we've kind of seen in the industry is super regimented, reactive fundraising.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of coming to the next question is perfect, because I think it's the reason a lot of people are here. It's kind of looking ahead. What does the future look like for smarter fundraising? Being able to utilize the insights and everything that already exists in the data today. How do we pull that out? And what should nonprofits kind of be doing today to prepare? Again, we don't want to miss the boat, but at the same time, we don't want to jump ahead too fast. We want to make sure that we're kind of jumping in at the right point in the river. Jono, did you want to start first, just in terms of, what should organizations look to do today to kind of get themselves ready for what AI is going to bring to the companies?
Great question. So I'll start by answering where I think we're heading in the future, and then come back around to what I think what we should be looking at today. So we think where things are heading in the future is there's going to be hyper personalization at scale. So we already expect Netflix style engagement in our personal life, in our social settings, apps on phones, etc. We think that constituents are going to expect that from organizations that they support. So we're going to need systems that can deliver completely tailored and customized experiences across multiple channels at the individual giver level. So we think that's coming, and there's going to be a lot of data required to make that happen. We also think that, and this is happening today, that data ecosystems are becoming more and more unified. So you've got your core, database for fundraising, you've got finance, you've got marketing, you've got impact reporting, you've got all these various systems that need to be connected in order to enable the outcomes that you're looking for. So we're already heading in that direction, being built on top of Microsoft's platform. We're already heading in that direction, partnering with Katie and Dataro, and making sure that the ecosystem is connected from a data perspective. When we talk about agents, which we haven't spoken about much today, but agents we think are going to become virtual resources as part of your team to help you achieve your mission. And agents will operate across traditional departments inside of an organization. So they won't just work inside of the giving or the major givers or marketing. They'll work across those silos, and they need data to do it. So having that unified data ecosystem will be an enabler for agents in the future. What can we do today to get to those kinds of outcomes? So AI loves data. So the first thing we can do today is ensure that you've got high quality data inside of your organization. Now, we see with our customers that's a challenge, particularly when they've, the organization's been around for a long time, may have legacy technology, may have various systems. But what you can do today is start cleaning your data and making it, high quality and getting it into a good place. So if it's in a good place, we enable the AI tooling. The other couple of things we can do is starting with the right foundation. So making sure that the platforms that you choose for your business, hopefully Klevr one day, hopefully Dataro, hopefully Microsoft, you're putting those in place today, so you're not playing catch up later. So you can then take advantage of what's coming. And I think finally, from a non-technology perspective, I challenge you to, or recommend that you foster a culture of experimentation and being on a platform that values high trust, data privacy, safety. You can then experiment with safety. So you can find those ways to use the tools in the toolbox to help you achieve your mission.
Cool. Katie, how about you from Dataro and kind of what you've seen? What do customers need to be doing kind of over the next 6 to 12 months to prepare for kind of what's coming with AI?
Yeah, love that. Love what you said, Jono. I think the Netflix analogy really lands well with people and kind of understanding how AI works, right? The more you watch, the better the recommendations are going to get. Every individual in Netflix, right, has personalized recommendations and predictions, and that ultimately is where we're hoping to get in the fundraising world as well. So this personalization at scale. Every donor feeling like the organization truly knows them. And these predictive insights will become standard, helping, I guess, fundraisers anticipate this behavior instead of, like I mentioned, reacting to it. So I really think, we're already starting to see the shift with a lot of our customers, but I think we're going to continue to see nonprofits moving away from this basic segmentation that has kind of, done quite relatively well for a while, but more to this data-driven donor-first strategy to help improve retention and lifetime value. So I think we're on that path there, and I think in the next year or two we'll really see AI and predictive insights built into hopefully every nonprofit strategy. But 100% to prepare now, need to ensure your data is accessible and connected. So want to break down not only the data in your silos, but also the data within your fundraising teams. So ensuring that everyone on the team is working cross-collaboratively. Of course, your donors don't think of themselves as a regular giver or mid-value giver. It's really not about the fundraiser, but really about what's the best experience for the donor. And ensuring that every single tool that you do use is fully integrated, but that you do have that foundation of a really strong database or CRM like Klevr, because ultimately you can't leverage tools such as Dataro if you don't have that foundation and all your data in one spot. But I think I'll double down on Jono's point as well around just building comfort in using AI within your organization and being open to trying new things that's backed by the data. I think traditionally in the industry, we've had a lot of guessing and assumptions, but what data and AI allows us to do is to actually make decisions from what the data is telling us, not just from what we've done the past 10 years. Of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but being open to having these, little experiments like he mentioned, and then kind of slowly pivoting potentially your strategy to what your donors are ultimately telling you and how they want to interact with you. And I'll also just do a quick plug. Definitely the future is AI agents. We've actually at Dataro just built a new one as well for prospect research. So more than happy to, if anyone's interested in that, have a chat, but automating your major donor prospect research. So lots of exciting things happening in the world. And I'm excited to see where AI takes this industry, because I think it can have a really, really big impact.
Closing comments from you at all, Jono?
Sorry, Harry, I missed that one.
Sorry, any closing comments from you at all, just before we wrap up?
Well, great question. I just reinforce what Katie said about being open to possibilities, and I guess the possibility that you've got more tools in your toolbox than ever, and making sure you use the right tool to hammer the right kind of nail. So give it a go, experiment, see how you can benefit your day-to-day job as an individual, the team you work in, and your organisation, using the tools that are available today. Get your data in a good place, and that'll make your life a whole lot easier going forward. Whether you're using our platforms, whether you're using other platforms, whether you stick with your current tech, doing those things will put you in a good place for the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Jono. I'd definitely echo that. Just in the call today, I think I've seen 4 or 5 different agents that people have had to take notes and record action items. So AI is around. It's probably not going away anytime soon. So I think if you're not on the train, it's probably worth looking at how do I jump on where's the easiest entry point, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But lovely to kind of talk to you all today. Hopefully today was worthwhile and you got something out of it. Very happy to have a discussion with anyone if you're looking into further around what Walkerscott does with its Klevr platforms and AI and Microsoft, or with Katie and the Dataro side of things. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining today, and hopefully chat to you soon.